DIY or Die, Walker Vapor Group LLC, or any of its associates do not condone nor encourage the use of nicotine, vapor products, or any mood-altering substances without the explicit consent of a physician. The content viewable on this channel is strictly for entertainment purposes only and not meant to be seen as informational or educational. Must be 21 years or older to view these materials.
Silky beat. Hello, mixers! Welcome back to another glorious episode of the MIXINVIXENS. I'm Emily, also known as mlNikon. And say hello to the other Vixens. We've got RinVapes.
Hi.
We've got Jen, the TheJuiceFairy.
Hi, everybody.
And then we have on as a guest still, again, for the time being, Lamented, also known as Courtney. Hello, Courtney.
Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Good.
How was everyone's weekend?
Good.
I had a pretty good weekend. I've decided to clean up stuff and reorganize, and my house looks like a disaster now. But other than that, I had a good weekend because I got to play with a bunch of stuff I hadn't seen in a while. Reorganized my flavors. Got flavors in this side of the room now. Figured I didn't look like I was in a prison cell anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that you kind of have all your flavors there displayed.
Not all of them.
Well, probably closer when you're mixing.
There's a little one, so they're easy to get to. So for a quick little mix, I can come up with something with these. I don't need all of them in here.
I didn't move mine. I just have some shit sitting behind me. That's just some random stuff that I needed out of my way.
So does anyone vape anything new this weekend that they want to talk about, or any new mixes, or have been working on anything?
No, I've been, I guess. I've been working on a few pod recipes, some dessert recipes, and this chocolate this week. I don't like chocolate. I don't like vaping chocolate, so this took a while. You know,
I
picture chocolate on the top.
I don't usually work with chocolate either. I'm not really a fan of vaping chocolate, so this was a sucky week.
Tough, for sure. So I guess we can talk about it. This week's recipe, the photo was submitted by Shelly. Shelly Corey?
Didn't she submit a recipe?
Huh?
Didn't she put a recipe down for it too?
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I challenged her. I was like joking around and said that, you know, from now on, whoever submits pictures should have to like try to play along. So she did, and I thought that was awesome.
Did anyone mix it up?
No, I did not have time to mix it up. I've had a really hectic week, but it's pretty interesting looking. It looks like
Does James have the link so we could show it?
Yeah, I don't think so, but hold on. I can get it for him real quick.
All right. Cool.
You guys chit-chat while I find that.
Yeah, it looked like she did a good job.
Time to mix this weekend. So I've kind of been mixing things from the previous week. I just got home from a little vacation, so haven't been mixing in a while. But I don't know. I've been. If any of you guys like bakeries, I've been digging Graham Wow recipe. It's pretty good. It's like it's got graham cracker in it, but it's also light and bright because it has marzipan in it, so it's interesting.
I had like a wild hair at my butt last night to make some bourbon recipes, and it came to me like when I was trying to go to sleep. So I went and grabbed the stuff out that I wanted to work with for the morning, right? And then I go turn on Fresh's video, and they're mixing almost the same thing that I got sitting on my desk trying to work with. I'm like, what in the hell? Is it in the air? Like subliminally?
Awesome. Is that the are you talking about that pudding? That recipe from Alfred Pudding?
No. No, Whoa, one of the guys was mixing up with persimmon and some bourbon and stuff. Or no, I think he did persimmon and rum.
It was probably Shindo.
So say, sounds like either Shindo or Slasha, maybe.
It was Slasha.
Slasha. He's the persimmon guy.
Well, yesterday on that suicide thingy, we were mixing up bourbon. Because I made a toffee bourbon fudge.
Ooh.
That sounds good. Did you make it public? Are you going to share that one?
Did.
That does sound good. What toffee did you use?
I used a combination of the Vape Train English toffee and their toffee ice cream.
Oh, nice. I haven't tried their English toffee yet. How is it?
I really like it. The toffee ice cream alone, and it might just need to steep, wasn't really giving me enough toffee.
Yeah.
So then I added the 0.5% of the English toffee, and it just bumped it up a bit. It's like a buttery toffee. It's really nice.
Nice. I really like the toffee ice cream with I think I put it with honeycomb before, and it's just a nice flavor. But I haven't tried. The only toffee I've been using lately is Flavor toffee, so I'll have to try that English toffee.
Yeah, the toffee ice cream is becoming like my hot sauce. I kind of put that shit on everything anymore.
Does it take a while to like?
Very versatile.
Yeah.
Does it take a while to steep?
Well, it depends on what you're using it for. I just use it mostly to cream it up a little bit, not to be like the primary note, and that it does that pretty quickly.
Yeah. I think I've used it at like 3%, and I didn't notice any off notes or anything. I mean, obviously things are always better after they steep, but there wasn't any, off notes or anything sharp about it. So
I just wasn't getting much from it, so I used it low too. I used only 1%, so it could be that too. But it wasn't giving me like the toffee that I wanted, so I added more.
Yeah, it's not very strong on the toffee flavor. It's just kind of like under the cream.
Yeah, just a little dark note, under that ice cream. Bonnie said that there's a hard crack toffee too by Vape Train. It's pretty good.
They tend to make like 3 or 4 versions of whatever they're doing.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of chocolates, a bunch of toffees, like a couple white chocolates.
Yeah, I actually used the toffee ice cream in my recipe for today too. I had to make like a last ditch one because the one that I had made before that was good, one that's steep, I couldn't taste anything hardly at all. It's like the white chocolate just kind of disappears.
Oh yeah. Oh, so we have her recipe now. You want to talk about it? The one that Shelly submitted?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you, Shelly, for playing along with us.
Yeah, I was missing the creme brulee, I think.
People got to see me be very
Why is it every time we go live we start echoing? Like it doesn't do this when we're not.
It didn't, no.
I don't know. I had mine muted.
Okay, so custard and chocolate brulee. So Jazzy Girl, that must be Shelly's username. She's got 2.5% butterscotch ripple, 3% creme brulee by Vape Train, 1% the vanilla gelato by FA, 1% mulberry glamour chocolate, 1.5% lava cake. Nice, nice. And 0.5% vanilla pudding. This looks delicious. Shelly, I'm going to mix this up.
It looks pretty good. It looks delicious. It looks like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I know. I'm reading this off. I'm like, damn it. This looks better than mine.
Yeah.
Why did I think of this? And that butterscotch ripple, adding some deepness into the pudding. Oh, with that creme brulee, it looks really good.
That's like mad cheat codes right there with the butterscotch ripple.
Yeah.
I like it.
I
Awesome.
think she brought her A game, and I thought it was awesome that she played along because she can mix. I've seen a few of her recipes, and they look pretty good. So I'm like, if anybody can do this along with us, it's gonna be her.
Yeah. And lava cake and glamour chocolate both are like my two favorite chocolates.
I don't have the glamour chocolate. What can I sub that for?
Can't. It really is a unique flavor.
Yeah.
That's a nice milk chocolate.
Yeah, it's almost like the old Inawera milk chocolate.
I still have some of that. Can I use that?
Yeah, sure. I think so. I don't know.
I'll try it.
Rin, have you tried the old Inawera milk chocolate? Is it close enough?
I have not, because by the time I heard about it, they had already changed it.
Okay. Yeah, you probably could, because I think from my memory, they're pretty similar. But yeah,
I still have them, but I mean it's pretty old, so it's about at least 2 years old, year and a half.
Or I guess maybe Jungle Flavors milk chocolate might be similar to Glamour chocolate.
What's in there?
If you have the ordinary milk chocolate and you're looking for an
I'll order it. That sounds like I have to have it.
Yeah. Just get it. You know you want to. Just get it.
Thanks a lot there, Jazzy girl.
I used it in my original one, and I didn't like where it tasted, but I was trying to make a white chocolate mousse with mine, and so the combination, it just wasn't working with the white chocolate.
All right, well, let's get into ours then, since we had to be showed up by Shelly, who is the submitter of the photo. Who wants to go first?
I mean, she knows what she wanted to vape, so she knows what she wanted us to create. Now she's just gonna have 4 recipes plus her own to then decide which one she likes the best, because she created it herself, and she got 4 other people to make the same thing.
And I love that, Courtney, that you had her, or that you asked her to do this, and that she did this, because we can see like what the person was thinking when they submitted the photo, because as you can see from all of us, we all have different representations of the same photo. So it's really neat to see like what the submitter wanted to see. You know what I mean? Like wanted to vape. So that's really cool.
Well, I thought it was really awesome. She played along. I thought it was cool that she did, because I was kind of just being silly, and it's like, I think, you gave us a hard profile. You should have to play along.
Yeah.
She did.
It's a good idea. All right, so who wants to go first?
I'll go, because I don't want to sit in silence. So my first iteration didn't go that great, and then I tried that Wonder Flavors smooth cappuccino, and I really liked it. So then I was like, if you look at the picture, which our picture like on the thumbnail is not the exact, it's like in the little recipe thing, you can see it there. It looks kind of off-white. So I was like, I can make it like a coffee infused pudding or mousse or whatever, instead of just like a straight vanilla or chocolate or whatever, because it already has the chocolate shavings anyway.
Yeah.
So I used the smooth cappuccino as like the main note, and that's what you mainly get, or at least that's what I mainly get. So I use that. It's very smooth, nice cappuccino. It's pretty much what it says it's supposed to be. And then I use the Real Flavors cookies and cream, because it's a really nice Oreo. Because if you look, you can kind of see the Oreo or some kind of cookie crumble on the bottom. And I thought they would go nice together anyway. And then I use the Flavora vanilla pudding just to kind of make the cappuccino a little thicker. Plus it's supposed to be some kind of pudding or whatever. And then I used Flavora whipped cream because I wanted a darker whipped cream. And I know it's kind of weird to call a whipped cream dark, but it's like more of like a vanilla bean infused whipped cream than like a really bright whipped cream like TFA or like Capella's. And then I tried, and I don't know if I did it right, but I tried Jen's little trick with the almond, the Flavor Art almond, to separate. I don't know if it really did it or if it's supposed to be used like that, maybe it's just a bakery thing. I don't know. But I just threw it in there. I figured it wouldn't hurt because, I mean, almond goes nice with like chocolate and vanilla. So I just threw that in there. You can't really taste it, but it's there. So I guess if you didn't want to add that or don't have that, it's not really necessary. But I figured I would try it. So that's it.
Well, let me ask you, since you tried it, do you feel like with, well, I mean, I know you didn't try it without, but maybe you should. Do you get a difference in the vape on the inhale and on the exhale?
Yeah,
That's what I use call a separator.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mainly get the coffee on the inhale and then the cookie after. So yeah, if it's supposed to do that, then I did.
Did its job. Awesome.
Success.
There you go. Yeah, I probably should try it without it just to see like if there is a discernible difference. Because some flavors are just like that. You'll taste it differently in than out. But yeah, that would be an interesting experiment. But yeah, I like it. It's nice. I don't typically like coffee vapes, but this one is nice. It doesn't have that heavy Kona note that a lot of the coffees have, which I don't like. So that's why I really like the Wonder Flavors cappuccino. And it's light enough to where it's not like super rich and cloying. Like a lot of the bakery and like things like that I can't do because they're just too heavy. This one's a little bit lighter and it's something I could vape for a while. And tobacco might go with it. It probably would be nice in there. I just didn't add it. I don't know what else you could put in there. But yeah, I think a tobacco would go nice in there.
I think it looks really good. I've seen it this morning. I'm like, man, that looks real good.
Yeah, it's nice.
And that coffee flavor is one that you don't see very often, but is like a really nice, smooth, like cappuccino flavor, where it doesn't have like the bitter, like the burnt tire notes, and it's not that in your face, like skunky notes that some of the coffee has, it's just very mellow and smooth. And I think it'd be really good.
Yeah, that Kona is what the skunk is, and that's what I get from a lot of coffee, and I don't like it.
I don't have that one. I'm going to have to grab it. It sounds good.
Yeah, I got it from Bull City on a whim because I was actually talking to Frank, and he's the owner of Wonder Flavors, if y'all don't know. And we were talking about like coffees and whatever and like why I don't like them typically, but I try to give at least one chance for a brand. So like I'll try a coffee from X brand to see if it's good. And because I find that if I don't like one coffee from a brand, I typically don't like their other coffees if they have them because it's like a similar note in all of them. So I figure I'm like, I haven't tried any coffees from them, so I'll just give it a go. And I didn't have high expectations, but I really, really liked that one.
Their Brazilian coffee is pretty good too for like a darker, just kind of plain, more roasted coffee.
Yeah, I have that one coming.
Yeah.
I use that one really, really low though. You might want to start like 0.2 to 0.5% and then smother it with some cream and caramel.
Yeah, because it's a shame because I love coffee in real life, but vaping it, it's hard to get a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's the curse of people who like coffee in real life because we have a certain kind of coffee snobs. I'm a huge coffee snob and I drink my coffee black. Well, I do add creamer to it, but I don't add any sweetener so that I can get the actual flavor of the coffee. So when I'm vaping it, I'm like, this tastes like crap. This tastes like they burnt the beans. This tastes like they added some extra bitter notes. So that's the problem with coffees for me. But I mean, I enjoy coffee vapes and chocolate vapes for a very short while. If I'm on a kick, I'll do it for about a week, and that's all I can handle of it. No matter how good it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with chocolate too, is I love chocolate, and even like a really good chocolate vape, like a well executed good chocolate vape, I can vape it for maybe, an hour, and then I'll need to set it down and go to something else. It's not an all day thing for me. Coffee's the same way, really good coffee. But this looks awesome because it's like with the pudding and stuff, it just looks nice and light. And do you get like that mouthfeel from the the pudding and like the cookies and cream. It's more of a mousse type thing.
Yeah, it's very let's just say very creamy. Yeah, it is very creamy. It doesn't have a whole lot of mouthfeel. Like it's there. It's not like super intense though. Like the Flavor Art whipped cream is like, I don't know why it has so much mouthfeel to me, but it does, but it's too much. So it's not like that. It's kind of like medium, I guess. Because you got to remember, I don't like super rich vapes because they overwhelm me and I can't do them. Because I mainly vape fruits, which are very light, or teas, like the acai tea. I still vape all day, every day. So it's a little bit of like an adjustment anytime I have to make something like this where it's a little bit more intense.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. It looks really good.
I completely get what you're saying. It could be exhausting on the palate when you're used to something refreshing to do something thick.
Yeah, for sure. Who's going next?
I would love to go next because I think you copied me. No, I'm just kidding.
I just want to be like Jen. That's my goal in life.
My recipe is so much like yours. Oh my God, we've been around each other too much lately. I'm starting to act like a Rin.
Run.
Rin run. All right, let's see. So let me pull mine up so that I'm not going to read it from the notes. I'm just going to tell you guys what I did. Is that okay? Because I wrote some really intense notes in here so that everybody can follow along and make sure that they know my ins and outs of it. But pretty much I saw a chocolate mousse pudding type thing with a little bit of whipped cream at the top. I opted to not use any whipped cream because I made it nice and thick. I made a thick whipped coffee type thing with some chocolate cookie at the bottom. I use the way ATF works, it puts the flavors in alphabetical order, but really FA glazed chocolate donut to me tastes like a chocolate cookie more than a donut. It's not airy enough to be a donut. It has more of a texture of a cookie, or maybe it's because it's a cake donut type instead of a fried donut. And there's Ebola is more of a fried donut, so maybe that's where the expectation is. It's more on a cakey, chocolatey side. So I use 0.75% because to me that's that gives you enough chocolate to be just a chocolate note, and it gives you enough of the bakery note to make it into a chocolate cookie kind of bottom type thing. I use Flavora coffee. Well, the combination of coffee I used was FA cappuccino, and I've got to do this in the order that I actually did it instead of the way that it's written in ATF. I use FA cappuccino, and I use that at 3%. Why did I use that one? Because that's a sweet coffee, creamy on the creamier side. It's not very bitter. It doesn't have burnt notes to it. It's pretty run-of-the-mill coffee and cream with lots of sugar kind of coffee. And then I had to boost the coffee note a little bit because I was going to load it down with creams. And that's what I brought into Flavora coffee in. I brought it in only at 0.3%. That seems to be plenty enough to give me the few little bitter notes I was looking for to boost a coffee note in the cappuccino. And I struggled to find out which coffee I was going to use to boost that coffee note. I knew I did not want to use FA coffee bean. I didn't want to use any of those in there because they would have been too hard to blend into a cream and still keep it more pudding than coffee. But Flavora seemed to work really well at 0.3%, which is mighty low, but it's perfect for this. I use coffee milk froth from VT because that's more of a warm milk. It has some hints of coffee, but it's more of warm, fluffy, milky notes that you would get on the top of a Starbucks coffee. So I use that at 1.25% and I loaded it down with vanilla custard and vanilla pudding. So I have vanilla custard Capella's, full flavor, nice and thick, 2.5%. I don't use custards high. Usually my limit on custard is 2%. So I consider myself going very high at 2.5%. And I use Flora pudding at 2% because I needed to give it a different note than just the custardy egg. I wanted to give it a pudding note and a heavier cream note. I don't know exactly how to describe what Flora pudding is to me. I'm not very good at words.
Denser?
Yeah, dense, but Capella custard is pretty dense. This is more, it just adds the actual pudding note that I was looking for to it. It has a different vanilla note too. So it worked pretty well. I used cap sugar cookie to accent my chocolate glazed donut and to bring in even more sweetness. I didn't want to use any sweetener. I didn't want to use marshmallow. I didn't want to use anything that was going to change it too much from a straight up cream pudding with vanilla notes and coffee with a slight chocolate note. All in all, I'll say that I'm vaping it on day 3. I do think that it should develop. No, I mixed it on Wednesday. It's day 4. I do think that it's going to develop more, but I don't think it's going to change much at all. Not by the flavor. And I'm telling you, I don't vape chocolate often, but this is really good, guys. This is really creamy. Hold on. It is a coffee pudding, no joke, with a little bit of chocolate. I can taste the cookie note. I can taste the chocolate. I can taste the cream. It's more cream than coffee. I feel that I was successful in not making it a coffee vape. It was cream with coffee in it. Pretty good. I like it. Questions?
I'm just, I wish I had thought about using the chocolate glazed donut, but it's not here yet. I just ordered it, and I'm like, oh, that would be so good in this, because the way you and JJ describe it as being like that kind of chocolate graham cookie type thing would be really good in here.
And I don't get the graham part. It's more 10 grams aren't actually a graham cookie, but they're still a chocolate cookie that kind of melts in your mouth, and it's got texture to it. So that's what I get out of it. I think that might be what she describes as well. I wish I was more.
The 10 grams. I didn't mean like graham cracker. I meant like the chocolate 10 grams, like the chocolate cookie. I've never used FA Italian Relax before, the cappuccino. So at 3%, that's not like too forward.
No, I'd have to use that at about 5% to get. Well, if it was by itself at 3%, if you do it standalone at about 3%, it would be too sweet to taste the coffee, in my opinion. So the coffee note in it is a nice coffee, but it's a mild coffee. It's like a blonde, but it's loaded down with cream and sugar. In the way I taste it, it's loaded down with cream and sugar. I drink my coffee with no sugar, so I have a hard time using that one normally because of the sweetness level of it. And isn't that difficult to believe coming from FA? But it really is sweet.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a coil gunker. Let me check my coils.
Yeah, and another thing I'm really interested in is the Sour Wizard.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to talk about that.
You didn't even mention it. I'm like, what the hell is Sour Wizard doing in this mix?
Look, my coils are not ruined. My cotton's still white. I've been vaping it only thing I've been vaping in this for 2 days. So there's you a chocolate and a coffee that didn't kill my
That's
coils.
really good for a coffee vape and having chocolate in it.
That's exactly right.
I can't believe I didn't look at it and think coffee like you two did, because coffee is like my favorite thing in the world, and I really don't like white chocolate. And that's where my brain went.
Well, I thought about white chocolate, and then I couldn't find one that I was happy enough with. So then I moved along to the lightest chocolate, the lightest coffee I could think of. and added a little bit of a chocolate note. But the Sour Wizard, yes, the Sour Wizard, I put it in there as an optional. So the Flavora coffee brings in a certain amount of bitterness that coffees genuinely have innate when you drink them black. I find that chocolates in general are like missing something. They're like hollow. They're just
okay.
missing.
Yeah. So you're using FA Sour Wizard like Juice Man used Loren's Tartan Sour with chocolates. He says it just magically fixes them. And it's that, I think it's that malic acid that maybe turns that bitterness off a little bit.
Yes. So I wanted the bitterness for the coffee, but I wanted the sourness for the chocolate. I needed the sourness. It's optional. You don't have to put it in there, but it does. It's not something I used it very conservatively in this as well. I use it at 0.1, but I'm telling you, you can bump that all the way up to 0.5 and it would work because it just would. I just didn't want to do that because I know some people don't have it and they would think at 0.5 it was a necessary item. And even though I recommend to do it with it, I think the recipe would be fine without it. And I also didn't want to go to 0.5 because I didn't have that much steep time. Sometimes when you use Sour Wizard too much, it can mute a recipe or kind of muddy it up. So I didn't want to risk that happening just to give me the sour note because I would have had to make a couple batches and let them steep to find out what it does long term. So I kept it low so that at a safe zone. I played it safe.
So just at that 0.1, it's noticeable.
Yeah, it's noticeable. And I don't have to worry about it killing my recipe. I would like to play with it further and see how much I could bump it and let it sit and see what it does. But didn't have time for the show.
Yeah, that's what I kept running into too. Is like this is so hard to know how it's going to really turn out because most of the stuff that I use is things that need to steep, and sometimes marshmallow and whipped cream can mute your flavors. And so it's like, how do I know I have enough in there to do what I need it to do? But I don't know what this is going to taste like in 2 weeks.
I know, but that's why I went ahead and put 5 days steep for this because I wanted them to know at 5 days it's good. Not sure. I'll write notes afterwards after I know how if it makes it because I've been vaping it solely, and usually I vape it till it's gone and then I won't make it again for a while. But I'll tell you what, another afterthought, just for people who try this recipe and want to mess around with it, an afterthought, and it wouldn't have worked for this picture, was to use what do you call that? Liquid Barnes white chocolate peppermint and add that about 2%. So, the reason it's an afterthought is because I know I'm going to get tired of this after a few days. And if I still have some left to make it something different, I plan on
just add in some white chocolate peppermint. That actually sounds nice.
Make it something different.
Yeah. That can be your holiday version of your recipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, very cool. This looks good. Looks really good. Yeah, I never would have, it's funny that you and Rin both saw this picture and thought, oh, coffee. Because it was furthest from my mind. I'll go next, I guess. Unless there's something someone else wants to say about this recipe.
It looks good.
That's good. Okay. All right, well, mine's pretty simple. It's just a vanilla pudding with, I did the chocolate cookie at the bottom. I use 4% Flavor West cookies and cream because it does give you a little bit of like that Oreo-like cookie, but it's mostly just a thick, rich, like the cream from an Oreo. And I did 4% custard premium because to me, FA custard premium tastes like vanilla pudding. Like it's got that, kind of that frosting kind of pudding like vanilla to it, and it's not very eggy like a custard is to me anyway. And then I used sweetener from E-cig, but if you have Flavor West sweetener, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. It's just sucralose. And then I used Vape Train vanilla buttercream frosting. Such a rich, decadent vanilla, like frosting like vanilla, with a little bit of like buttercream. So it's got a little bit of that, like that, more of that richness and that denseness. And then I used Wonder Flavors White Fudge. It's not very like a very white chocolate forward, but it does have a little bit of that white chocolate, but it's more just like a dense, creamy, just more creamy goodness, I guess, So this is very rich. And, after doing this and thinking about it, and today I'm like, I should have added, so I'll just add this as an optional. Hey, if you want to mix this up, optional, add like a touch of Hankson's Australian chocolate for the chocolate shavings on the top. Because the chocolate in this is very subdued, which is how I think chocolate should be done. I think a lot of times people go overboard when they're trying to do chocolate. And it's not it's not chocolate forward at all. It's mainly you get your rich, decadent, thick, vanilla pudding or mousse with a little bit of chocolate. So if you want a little bit more chocolate, I think a little bit of Australian chocolate by Hankson would be the one to use, because it's like a harder, darker, like a chocolate shaving kind of chocolate. You know what I mean?
I just ordered that one, so I'm hoping that it's as good as you say it is. I didn't have it to work with, though.
Yeah. But this is really good. It's very rich and very vanilla pudding like. And for something I wanted to mention, for those of you who do not have FA Custard Premium, because it's hard to get, I think you can only get it at Chef's now, or if you buy direct, because Fan Nut doesn't carry it. TFA vanilla custard is very similar to me. So, you could probably sub TFA vanilla custard.
I agree. And I almost used TFA vanilla custard instead of Cap, but I was afraid to because of the pepper tasters. So I didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's another thing. I don't find that with the Custard Premium, the pepper tasters taste that pepper either.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think you get pepper, or I don't think pepper tasters get pepper from Custard Premium, but they would from TFA vanilla custard. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind.
I didn't even think to use the FA custard instead of like the Flavora pudding, but that's a good idea because it really does taste a lot like pudding.
And I also thought about using the FA vanilla ice cream, but then I needed something to overpower the sweetness and the chocolate. So I think, Emily, you picked the right custard. Perfect, because your pepper tasters won't get that in this. I don't think so. And it's very, very straightforward. I think Hankson would bump up the chocolate, but I mean, again, like you said earlier, you get tired of chocolate fast, so I can see why that wouldn't have been like your first choice. It would have been like an afterthought.
Yeah, I vaped this like all day, because the chocolate was so low. In fact, I finished the tester before the show even, so I don't even have it now, but it's not overpowering, like it's definitely, you can vape it all day if it is, but you still get a lot of that, a little bit touch of that chocolate, so it's nice. It's a good recipe.
And I bet you it doesn't have that Tootsie Roll taste to it either.
Right.
So
it does not. It just, it's just Flavor West cookies and cream. Like I said, it's mostly the white cream in the cookie, but you do get a little bit of that Oreo cookie. So it's a thicker, cakier cookie-like chocolate. And it's not that thin kind of sometimes astringent, plasticky Tootsie Roll type chocolate,
And how was it on your coils?
Gosh, you know what? I think it was okay. Like it wasn't great or anything, but it wasn't terrible. It's not even something I looked to think about, but I vaped a whole tester like in a row and didn't need to change, when I was done. I was still good to move on to something else. So it wasn't it wasn't remarkable either way, good or bad. So
yeah, I get that. The thing is that with chocolates, I've been monitoring mine because I've been vaping it so much, and my daughter is sensitive to creams and custard. She only likes the refreshing smells and can't stand it when I'm vaping vanillas or stuff like that. And she has mentioned before, whenever I've used, let's say, Inawera chocolate or TFA chocolates, even Hang Seng chocolate, that it smells like somebody burnt the brownies when she walked in the room after I walked out, or I've left the smell of the chocolate behind. She says, smells like burnt brownies. That's not a pleasant scent. So, so I was trying to see if she got that from this, and she has not complained once. And she was in the car with me, driving down the road, and did not complain. So I was like, okay, I didn't tell her what was in there, but it didn't smell like burnt brownies, and I bet yours didn't either. So burnt brownies and coil gunking are the two things I look for with chocolate mixes.
No, I know there's no brownie taste, burnt or otherwise, in mine. And yeah, it's
Courtney,
my thing. Just
you got any questions for Emily?
Straightforward.
No, I think I already said what I thought. I'm afraid I'm not as interesting as you guys. I've been wondering what that white fudge is like, though.
What white fudge?
That she used, the white fudge concentrate, the super concentrate.
Wonder flavors.
Wonder flavors.
Isn't it just a creamy fudge? Isn't it like white fudge where it doesn't have a lot of chocolate?
Yeah, there's no real like chocolate taste to it. It's just a very creamy, like sweet, thick, fudgy flavor. I don't know. Rin, you've tried this one too, right? Help me out here.
It's kind of like a cocoa butter flavor, because I think that's mainly what white chocolate is, because it doesn't have cocoa in it, just cocoa butter and then vanilla and sugar. It's pretty good. I like it mixed with I think it's Health Cabin.
Ooh, Health Cabin white chocolate.
Yeah, I like them together because, like, I feel like they're not completely white chocolate or anything separate, but when you put them together, they balance what each other is missing.
Yeah, that sounds about right, because Health Cabin is very like top heavy and kind of thin.
Yeah,
but yet it has that flavor where Wonder Flavors is very basic. It's got a lot of body, but it doesn't really have much white chocolate flavor. It's got the white chocolate mouthfeel, but it doesn't have the white chocolate flavor. So yeah, I can see that.
Did Health Cabin end up going out? Are they going out of business, or are they just moving? I remember you guys talking about that a little, and I wasn't sure if I could still find them to use their flavors or not.
I don't know. I know that I think they reformulated a couple of their flavors.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've gone on business or anything.
Okay.
Well, scoop on Health Cabin. Help us out, girl.
Yeah, because she was talking about it in one of the videos about them. She couldn't find the links and didn't know what was going on, so I didn't know what was going on. I know that they went out of business. I just was wondering what the heck was going on, because I wanted to order some, and then I thought, well, why order them if I'm not going to be able to use them and nobody's going to be able to get them?
I mean, it's still on DIY Vapor Supply, which is where I got mine. I don't know where else you can get them. So
I don't know, if somebody's going out of business and they have a good flavor, makes me want to buy their last 16-ounce bottle and put it up and use the heck out of it. But it'll go out before I use it all. Still, it'll be something I have that nobody else does. But I'm greedy like that.
Yep. You and your 10 flavor recipe.
That was hilarious, man. That Friday when Wayne pulled that up in live mixing, I was like, no, wrong recipe. Anyways, Courtney, is everybody Emily, or you have anything to say
before we move on, I wanted to address what DeMillen said in chat. She asked me why I use so much sweetener, because 1.5% of any sweetener, it's a lot of sweetener. It's because chocolate needs, it's like, how potatoes just soak up salt when you're cooking and stuff. Chocolate and vaping, it just soaks up sweetener. Like, you need to have a lot of sweetener in a chocolate vape for it to even be remotely authentic. Like it just doesn't work without it to me. So
I agree. Or Sour Wizard.
Or yeah, now we know Sour Wizard. I need to try it out. There's a chocolate episode on Noted coming up in a few weeks, and I'm gonna do an experiment and test out Sour Wizard and Tart and Sour with some chocolates, and then do the same chocolate with a whole bunch of sweetener, and just side by side compare them. Yeah,
This is what you need for chocolate: Bitter Wizard, Sour Wizard.
Bitter Wizard.
Yeah, a little bit of Bitter Wizard works too. I use a coffee in this one to bring out the bitterness. Yeah. But if you don't have a coffee or something to bring out the bitterness, you can always use a drop of this.
Yeah, looks like they were answering my questions in chat, Jennifer and Leilani. So you can still get them. I didn't want to scare anybody. I just, I didn't know where they'd went to. Yeah.
All right. Well, Courtney, I think it's your turn, honey.
Yeah.
Let's see this recipe. We're breaking you in good by bringing you on and then giving you a hard one right off the bat, like on your second.
Yes, I so appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You thought you were just going to come on and have be a cakewalk and just hang out with us? No, we're putting you to work.
Yeah, I see that. And I've never made a mousse, and I have only recently got the white chocolate flavors, and I don't really ever make chocolate vapes either, so you really, threw me for a loop. Okay. I, of course, use the real flavors. Cookies and cream is my base for my, the cookies on the bottom. And then I tried to combine the two white chocolates by the vape train are really thin and weak on their own, so that's why they're cranked up so high. And then I also added some golden syrup to thicken it up and make it sweeter and a little bit more stick to your palate. But the love by itself to me isn't enough of a chocolate, and the white chocolate base is also too weak to stand on its own, but it's kind of the only ones I had to work with. I added the toffee ice cream to also bring out the golden syrup and just a little bit more of those warmer notes to the vanilla-ish. It really ultimately kind of ends up tasting more like vanilla than it actually does any kind of toffee or like a toasted sugar. It just kind of all pulls it together. And of course the marshmallow and the whipped cream were to fluff it up and bring it to the mousse level. And I added a little bit of sweetener to my own, to the Favor sweetness, but it was pretty sweet on its own. So that's totally optional. And I also added the Flavoro vanilla pudding because I wanted it to still have that wet texture and some more of the vanilla creaminess and mouthfeel kind of going on. So I suck at explaining this to you guys. You guys are pros at it. I don't usually have to explain myself, let alone on camera. So that pretty much sums it up. It ends up tasting more like a creamy vanilla with hints of regular chocolate in there. And it turns out I don't like to vape vanilla that much. So it's the first batch I had to remake it.
Not tasty to you.
Yeah, it's fairly accurate, but it also tastes a lot like just vaping air to me, just like kind of greasy air because I'm not vanilla. I guess I don't pick it up that much.
I'm vanilla blind, so I can understand that.
See, I didn't even know that was a thing, but if it is a thing, I must have it because I barely taste anything from it, even cranked up. But also the BTA chocolates, the white chocolates are fairly weak. So that could be it too, but I had them cranked up pretty high.
So what do you think? Do you like it?
It'll do if you like those flavors. It's not bad. But
not a vanilla person. So
yeah,
you're like vanilla mute, like some people are strawberry mute. You just don't get a lot of it?
I guess I must be. I can taste it, but only like the first few hits off of it that I really pick up any kind of vanilla notes. and it tastes good the first few, but then it kind of just fades away to me. And
That's
then
the same thing that happens to me. That's exactly the same way I would have to describe it. I can't taste the vanilla in it. I can taste the cream in it.
Yeah, that's
So
the first 2 or 3 hits. I can taste the vanilla, then it's just kind of gone.
Like I have to use FA Vanilla Classic at 1.5 to 2% to taste vanilla in vanilla custard from Cap, and everybody talks about how vanilla-y vanilla custard from Cap is. And okay, one day maybe.
Yeah,
because
I
used
never
to be blueberry blind, and now I can taste blueberry. So maybe one day I'll taste vanilla.
Which I made that. I made vanilla tobaccos, and I can taste them okay, but it's not. There's other flavors in there too. So.
Well, I think it's because it's the contrast between the darkness and the vanilla that then you can taste it. Because I can taste it in tobaccos as well. I just can't taste a pure vanilla flavor unless it's got a lot of caramel and some other stuff, butterscotch. So I understand what you're saying for sure. You're not alone. We're here. We're in this together.
It sucks though, because I didn't know, and then I'm trying to make a recipe I'm not used to anyways. It's like, oh my God, I can't taste the damn thing.
Well, I can mix vanillas. I personally can't vape them for long, so other people love it, and that's all that matters. If I put out a recipe and you love it, good. I'm gonna add a fruit to it.
So, anybody have any questions for me?
I like how you used Vienna cream to kind of up the vanilla note a little bit. I think that's a very underused, as of late anyway, an underused flavor. It has a really nice vanilla note to it.
I was reading a lot of people only pick up like cookie notes from the cookies and cream, the real flavor one, that they feel like it tastes like just the Oreo. So I thought, well, maybe I should add in a little bit of that to give it the cream filling too, to kind of compensate for that and have it in the mix.
Yeah. Because Vienna cream also has like a nice kind of thickness to it that I can see doing really well in this mix.
Well, Vienna cream brings some real vanilla cream notes to the mix. So even though you might not be able to taste it, Courtney, I'm sure that if anybody else mixes that, they'd have to let it steep a little bit because Vienna cream needs some steep, but the vanilla will come through in that.
I hope so. I'm gonna have to let my kids taste it.
Off the bat from Vienna cream. I mean, it's like nail polish remover right off the bat. So I have to let that steep a couple weeks for that note to steep out. But once it does, it's delicious.
Well, I'm hoping so, because I kind of had to fly by the seat of my pants. And I'm going to have to obviously rely on my children and my husband to taste this for me.
Come on, baby, because we're taking you for a ride. You got 2 more weeks of this. Buckle up.
Well, that which doesn't break you.
That's right. That's the spirit.
Anybody in chat have any questions? Anybody saying anything in chat that we need to read out loud so that we can answer? Let's see. Max Savage says flavors stick out more with tobaccos. That's true. Mr. Burgundy says, shout out to Vienna cream. Whoop, whoop. Dimlin, OG Vienna. You got a lot of fans over here talking about your Vienna cream being a good choice.
That's right.
Tim Vape says, you're doing great, Courtney. See that? You got your own little...
You guys are embarrassing me.
You got a lot of good jobs. You're doing a great job. See, it's not just us. They love you.
I'm used to being alone. You're embarrassing me here.
Shouldn't be sick next week.
No, she's not going to be sick. If I'm here, she's got to be here.
Well, Emily, you and me.
I'm not that scared, but...
What's next week's profile? Do we know that yet?
We know, but they don't.
Well, I really honestly haven't looked.
Are we gonna? I
a
think
long
we should maybe give them a peek at what next week is.
Yeah.
Leilani submitted this one.
Oh, I know what it is then.
Quite an abstract.
Yeah, Rin asked for it. She wanted more abstract photos. So
yeah, for
we
sure.
have this fabulous Asian dude.
Yes. Super fabulous.
Which it looks like fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. And I'm hoping what I'm thinking in my head, I'm hoping that will translate well into actually vape, because
he's got a good looking chest.
But
what flavoring is that, Jen?
It looks like oil.
Greasy air.
Cody's mix done.
Right. I don't know. I'm drawn to the headpiece thing.
Yeah.
Be like body butter.
Jarvis in chat. Okay, so she takes a month off because she's got to do some stuff, and then she's over here in chat with us, talking, chit-chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just didn't want to mix that chocolate. That's what it is.
He tastes like pineapple. Interesting.
She's here for some moral support. It's awesome, okay?
Somebody says patchouli. Can we come up with a patchouli mix?
No. Go ahead. Go for it.
John Mueller says he sees pineapples too. Pineapple.
I'm actually making a Turkish delight that kind of, because that BTA musk kind of is like a patchouli and a sandalwood. So I am working on something that's vaguely incense in a bottle, and it's surprisingly good.
Jen says, I'm mixing right now.
It would be good to vape. Like, to smell, yes, pleasant, but like in your mouth, I don't know.
No, I was scared too, because I got it, and I told you last time, I'm like, this is just going to be straight perfume. It's going to be like going in the bathroom after somebody sprayed perfume and breathing it. And thank God it wasn't.
Cool.
I've had patchouli vape before. It's not bad. Because New Nick makes, they used to make a vanilla patchouli. But for some reason, every like flavoring I've tried from them has a wicked throat hit. I don't know. I think they use like an alcohol base, but even steeped, it never went away. So I liked the flavors of their stuff, but I couldn't vape them. Because they had a nice tamarind too.
Maybe that you can, I know that heat steeping isn't a thing really, but maybe their alcohol level is a little bit too high. Maybe it does need a little bit of heat to get that alcohol out.
I don't know. I let it breathe. I let it sit. Nothing helped.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Indeed.
The Millen was asking about Lang Lang. I was actually trying to work with it. I put a little bit of it in a mixed drink, but my husband tasted soap. So I'm like, it's got to be the Lang Lang. I'm going to find something else to do with it.
That's good that you guys have people to help you test her. My wife is just like, it's okay. Like, just tell me, what do you taste? Oh, it's good. Yeah, but what is it?
Oh, I did that. I did your trick. With one of my pod recipes. I did that to my husband. I handed it to him, and I said, what is it? See if he could guess. And he did. And I was like, oh, success.
Nice.
I didn't tell him what it was.
Yeah, that's like the true test.
In it, because that'll just change their mind. You just, what is this?
What is it? Team Free Shit hasn't been around in a while, so I haven't had any testers. My daughter just hates the smell, so I always use her for a guide of how my outer smells. And then my husband, he's non-cooperative, so I was on my own with this one for sure. And nobody wants to vape chocolate around here. It's too warm still. If it was colder, maybe they would be more for it.
My kids will every now and then, but my oldest one, he's the same way as your wife, Emily. He just kind of is like, it's good. Or that's nice. Yeah.
Well, ladies, let's see. Do we have any other questions?
No, let's thank our sponsors and get on out of here.
Yes, ma'am. Let's do it. Let's run down the list because every week we seem to forget somebody. So do we?
Oh, that's right. We have a list now, don't we?
We do. We had to make a list because we'll forget, and we don't want to forget because that's not nice.
That's not nice. No, we don't mean to.
Yeah, we don't mean to. So we'll thank all the flavors for helping us with their flavor line and helping us make sure that we have what we need so that we can mix these wonderful recipes for you week after week. Bull City Vapors for providing the flavors and shipping them out to us in a timely, quick manner, and helping us ladies be able to put things together fast. Because if we're in short, we need something.
Yeah, they're super fast. They do.
I mean, yeah. I'm in North Carolina, so I'm like a super cheat. I was
gonna say, why do you even get yours shipped? Aren't you like right there?
45 minutes in a car costs more in gas than $6 in shipping.
Okay, well, there you go.
But they do try to get me over there. Like if they get something new in and I'm like, what are you guys? They're like, we can't mail that out till next week or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm coming down. That's when I come down on the day of release when they're gonna when they put it on their site. I'm driving. I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. I need to know what that tastes like. And
6% code, is that for Bull City?
Yeah.
Yes.
MIXINVIXENS. 6% at Bull City. Don't say we never gave you anything.
We give you recipes every week, but there you go. You got 6% too.
And thank you for Flavora. They're always coming out with interesting new stuff. They're gonna hook us up with that. So, and the last one I think is it the last one?
Press.
Yeah, guys, they have a new website.
Is it good? Is it better now?
Well, it's better. See, I think that, at least for me, like the two main pain points for E-cig Express had been like their bottles, because they used to break at the neck, and their website was so freaking like just slow. And they fixed their bottles some months back, so they have better bottles now. And now they have a new website. How exciting is that?
Yeah, because their shipping's not that unreasonable too. So if you need to get just a few flavorings, it's at least in the not astronomical range.
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
And Wayne Walker, gotta thank Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne. I haven't got to meet him yet, but thank you.
Yeah, check out DIY or Die. They have a podcast, they have a website, and a YouTube channel.
And they have put, and Wayne has put the MIXINVIXENS on, what is that?
SoundCloud. So like
SoundCloud
and iTunes, if you listen to the podcast, they do noted, MIXINVIXENS, all that. So they put all the episodes on that. So if you don't want to watch us, you can listen to us.
Exactly right. And we would like to thank Friction for being the main man behind the scenes here with the ladies. Oh, and you know what? We can thank our judges ahead of time because they're going to have their hands full this month.
They are.
I think we covered everybody this week so that they can't say we forget them.
That's right.
Covered.
And to everyone who's hanging out in live chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Hit like, subscribe, bring a friend.
Yep.
I forgot we went to multi-screens. I'm glad I haven't been picking my nose.
All right, everybody. Well, if there's nothing else, it was great hanging out tonight. Rin, talk to you next week. Maybe we won't think of the same exact recipe this time.
If we do, that'll be crazy because this is really obscure.
This is obscure, yeah.
It'll be fun, though. I'm going to try to think like you this week. I'm going to channel the inner Rin.
Channel your inner Rin.
Don't do that.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.